What is our project today? Yeah, you guessed it. I'm going to be doing some painting, and I'm going to put 2 coats of paint on here before I patch these stairs. You've been watching all my videos, you'll have seen why I'm going to be patching these the way that I'm going to and all that. Watch preceding videos of this project and you'll soon find out what this is all about. Well, I'm gonna install 2 coats of primer on here, and I've got 2 different paints here. You know the difference between the two? Kills all-purpose interior exterior primer, mold killing primer from Zinsser. Well, this one is almost $50, $48 or something. This was like $24. Okay, and pretty much, you know, I use Kills for all kinds of stuff, and it's a stain blocker, sealer and stain blocker, and it doesn't necessarily kill mold or anything. So if you have any existing mold or something like that, you might want to get the Zinsser mold killing primer. And I only have about this much left in the can. I don't have enough to put 2 coats on here, so you know, there's not much mold on here. If anything, the only mold issues that I could see are indentations like this right down in here. Here's another spot right there, maybe along this little edge here, right over in here, maybe right there, and so what I didn't want to and down in here I didn't want to get a whole other gallon of the mold killer primer. I don't normally use that, but I use that underneath the deck too, for any areas that I had seen mold, that I took the mold off and scraped it off, and then took a wire brush to it and wiped it off, cleaned it off, and then treated it before putting mold killer primer on. So I'm gonna put this little bit on first on here in all the different places I think, and then I'll start painting, and then when I run out of that, then I'll get into this and put this over the top of that. Does that make sense? After that's dry, let's say. Ultimately, I'm going to have 2 coats of primer on there, and then after that, I've got some caulking. I left that up in the garage, and I'll show you that later. Then I'll go around and caulk around the edges. Do I need to caulk right now? No, I want to get the paint on here first, and then I'll end up doing caulking around the edges all through here. You'll see where there's certain areas where the water, if it gets on here, it could leak through there and go down underneath the stairs. I don't want that. See right in there? I don't want that. Right there, along that edge, down over in there. And so I'll give this a good caulking, and then I may even run a little bit of caulking now and again in different big areas like that, where I see, because these were glulam beam material that they used for stair treads. I don't know why they did that. They should have just used 4x12 Douglas fir full beams. And see where this is indentated like that? I'll fill that up with caulking, and then I'll go back and fill up more caulking where it's low, right in there. I'll fill all that up. Could I do the caulking first? Yeah, I could, but I want to get the paint, the primer on here first. I'm going to be applying 2 coats of primer before I do anything else. You keep watching these videos, and you'll see how I get these stairs repaired. Okay, so first things first, I cleaned everything, I scraped everything, I swept all these down, I swept off the edge of the stucco all the way, because that was all built up with dirt and stuff. I don't want that to get down in my paint and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to start painting and priming. I'm going to be priming, and I'm just going to use my 4-inch mini roller a little weenie roller like this. I'll find a halfway decent one, and I save my old ones for anything that I may be able to use later on, like doing this. I can do all this with this crummy roller right here. And look at that. Yeah, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit right there because I'm gonna end up painting these risers too. I can paint this, but down in here I'll probably have to paint that with a paintbrush. Actually, I could do the weenie roller this way, down, boom, kaboom, you know, like that, and then go back with a crummy paintbrush and stuff. See, I just have a crummy paintbrush. I can use that one. This one I just use for a broom with that, so I'm not going to use that. I got another 3-inch that I use for sealing a shower. I can use that. It's just a throwaway paintbrush. I don't need anything special, and I'm just going to use one of my trays, and that's it. I'm not necessarily going to show you much of the priming and all that kind of stuff. I've got other videos on my channel for priming these stairs from before, and you can find those if you want to go to my main channel page and click on playlists and then scroll down to painting. You find all kinds of painting videos. It doesn't seem like many people like to watch painting videos, I find, on my channel. I don't know why that is. And so it's pretty self-explanatory on painting and stuff. And so, see, I'm just going to put the primer on first. 2 coats. I'll put 1 coat on, starting from the top, working on down, and then by the time I'm done, I'll do something else for 20-25 minutes, and then it should be ready for me to get back up there to start priming again for the second coat. Boom, 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 boom. And that's all I'm going to do for the rest of the day. That's my project, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Ah, yes, I forgot to tell you one thing. When you go to the store, I just picked this up off the shelf, okay? Nothing special, nothing fancy and stuff, but before I left the store, I had them mix that up. I just went to the counter, I said, hey, can you mix that up for me? And they stuck it on their mixer for probably 3-4 minutes. That mixed it all up, because if it's sitting on the shelf, and if you just pick something up and you think, oh, I don't need any special color match or anything like that, have them mix it first. You never know how long they've had it on the shelf sitting there, so you don't want to get home and have to stir it up yourself. Good way to do it, have them mix it before you leave the store. Here's another tip for you. If you're going to the store for the first time, you don't have any other paint or something, just ask them for some paint sticks. They'll give you some free paint sticks. These happen to be from Home Depot, but Lowe's gets them. We'll give them to you too, because I ended up getting that from Lowe's. And even if you get a 5-gallon paint bucket, they'll give you a big old fat stick for 5-gallon buckets. Okay, so make sure you do that. And sometimes you can say, hey, do you have one of these paint can openers to open the paint? And sometimes they'll give that to you for free. Okay, you can buy them. You can get them on the store. They have them on the shelf for like 89 cents or $1.50. But if you just ask, maybe you'll get it. And here, look at this. If you get a big one like this, it even comes with a little tape measure on the back. Look at that. 15 inches long, and it's a nice thick one. You can use these for shims or something, but these are good paint sticks. And as you can see, lots of times I'll go there and I'll ask them for a paint stick. Look at all these extra paint sticks I got. Even look at that. Even the small ones have a little tape measure on the back side. Huh. You can use these for shims later on, whatever. This time I decided I got enough of those. I'm not going to ask them for any more sticks. But there's another tip for you. Okay, well, this is what your first coat's going to look like. Okay. There. Could I leave just 1 coat? Probably. But because I've got all the paint out and it's not going to take that long to dry, I'm just going to leave my paintbrush here and my roller here. I'm not even going to put plastic around it like I normally do. I'm just going to leave my paint bucket open, and this will tack up enough to walk on probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending what your weather's like. Okay, and I noticed I got a little bit on the wall here and there, and the roller started was spitting just barely at little white bits around. See, there's another little spot right there, but it's okay. I'll just do the best I can, and fortunately for me, lucky that I've got this matching paint on the stucco. So when I get all done, then I'll go around and do wherever I need to touch up, I'll touch up and make it look all nice and pretty, so it's not gonna look all rough. But first things first, get that second coat on there. Let this dry enough so that when you put your hand here, nothing's gonna come off. Now see, these are already dry up in here. I just got these last ones done, and had I have been thinking about it, I could have painted let's see, these two before I did these two, let's say. Then I could have stepped up on it, or I could have stepped on these, then stepped over those two to do the rest. But hey, it's only going to take a few minutes for the paint to dry, to skin over. See, look, nothing. And I'll just wait a little bit longer. I don't have to wait until that very bottom one's dry. As long as this one's dry right here, I can just put my hands up on here and put my foot way up on this one and go. I don't want to do that yet, because this one is, it's just barely. Oh shoot, man, look at that. That's pretty dry too. Huh. Okay. See, like I said, it doesn't really take that long because it was raw wood, and the wood and the paint soaks up in the wood. And that's the other reason why I wanted to put this paint on, because these were the glue-lam beam materials. I wanted all the roofing material to stick good on here. I wanted any little bits of questionable areas. If I put the paint on there, it'll help stick that stuff down, and it will help prevent the mold, because I put the mold killer paint down first. Okay, so I see one little spot right there. See, I forgot to hit. I don't know how that happened. I had to reach over as it was to do that one. I guess I could reach over and do that one before I start painting up there. I'll hit that one first. That's what I'll do. Okay, all right, keep her going. Get that second coat on, and it's about 3:30. I'll be done and cleaned up by 5. Before 5, this will all be done, and then I'll clean up, put all this stuff away. I told Mommy, I says, let's go out to dinner later if she's awake. She's been exercising early in the morning. She went to 2 classes this morning, one at 6 and one at 7. CrossFit, can you believe that? And she could, when I get all done, she could be sleeping up there, so who knows. But in any case, I'm gonna keep her going. Oh, guess what time it is? 4:11, and that's after cleaning up my paint and stuff. I must have gotten done at 4:05 or so, or close to 4, and it was 3:30 when I started the second coat. See, the second coat doesn't take as long if you do and saturate the first coat really good in between all the nooks and crannies of the wood and stuff. Okay, how's that looking? Okay, so that's all I've got to show you today. Tomorrow, what are we going to do tomorrow? Well, we're going to caulk everything first, all the inside corners at both ends, and then any imperfections like that right there, and different things on here that are too low. See, that was pretty low, and there's some right in there and over there, And then I've got to fill up that concaved area on the inside corner. See, that was where I had floated everything out before, and then it cracked all out, and so I've got that ridge. I want to cover up that ridge as best I can before I start putting my my roofing material down, and I'll talk about that another time, okay? Step by step. And see, you can see I've got a little bit extra white paint around the edges. I still tried to do as good as I could, but I knew I was going to hit the wall every once in a while, and I'll cut that in with the stucco paint when I get done with the entire job. Okay. Alrighty. Now to put the rest of this stuff away. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos, step by step. We're gonna get this done once and for all, and I have a feeling it's gonna look good when I get all done. Now, if I just leave the stairs white, you know, with the roofing stuff, don't you think that's gonna look okay? I mean, it's here out in the backyard. I don't really think it's gonna be a problem, and in fact, I could look at that roofing material, and once I get it all down and once it cures and stuff, maybe I can paint it. Maybe I'll paint over it and get kind of a sludgy, darker color and paint over the top of that. You know, I could, or I could just leave it white like this. We'll see. Stick with me and we'll get her done.